Now let's talk about the graphs of the other three trig functions, secant, cosecant, and cotangent. So a way to remember these is to just get them from the graphs of sine, cosine, and tangent. So I'm just going to draw a graph of sine. Remember, that looks like this. Graph of cosine, that looks like this. And graph of tangent looks like this. So, to start off, cosecant is just equal to 1 over sine. So it's going to have asymptotes whenever sine is 0. So sine is 0 here at x is 0. Also at here, at here, at here. So it's going to be the same thing on the other side. And now 1 over. So this is at 1, this is at -1. So here 1 over 1 is just 1. So this point is going to stay the same up here. But as we decrease down to 0, like at 0.001, 1 over 0.001 is going to be really big. So it's going to go up like this. So it's actually going to, same thing's happening on this side too. So it's going to be like almost like a parabola looking thing. It's going to look like that. Now on this side, it's the same idea, but it's negative. So it's going to be a parabola looking thing like that. So it's just going to be alternating swoops like this. And the swoops are all bigger than, all 1 or bigger, or -1 or smaller. Yeah. So if you were to draw the graph of sine in here, actually that might clarify things even more. If we drew the graph of sine, it would look something like that. Alright, now let's try with cosine. So this is really similar to cosecant with sine, since secant is just 1 over cosine. Let's draw our graph of cosine first. Draw it in blue. And then we can do the same idea that we did with sine. So at 0, it's going to have an asymptote. And then, again, it's just going to be swoops. So this swoop is going up like that. This swoop is going down like that. And this swoop is going up, down, yeah, so this is what secant looks like. So for sine and for sine and cosine, you can just get the graphs of cosecant and secant by just looking at the graphs of sine and cosine. That'll tell you where to put your swoops. Now let's deal with cotangent. So cotangent, that's 1 over tangent. So let's figure out what this is. So now we're going to have asymptotes wherever tangent is 0. So there's going to be an asymptote there, an asymptote here, asymptote here to correspond with that one. Why don't I draw the graph of tangent in blue, just to give us an idea of how we're doing this. Alright, back to cotangent. So cotangent, well, cotangent of, think here is where tangent is going to infinity, and then dividing something by a really big number always gives you about 0. So cotangent should be 0 around here, and 0 around here, 0 around here, 0 around here. And then 1 over -1, say like this is -1, that should stay the same, that should stay at -1. And then 1 over +1, that should stay the same, +1. -1, +1, -1, +1. So it's kind of like swooping in the opposite direction. So I'm going to get rid of these sine and cosine graphs just so I can draw a better picture of cotangent. So what cotangent looks like then is going to transpose that graph here and make it more clear to read. So there's an asymptote here. And then there's asymptotes here, 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 and it's swooping the other way, like this. Yeah, so you can get the graphs of the other trig functions, the cosecant, the secant, and the cotangent just by thinking about the graphs of sine, cosine, and tangent. And that'll tell you where everything goes in the other graphs if you just draw it out like this.